we're really looking to, once we have a really good sponsors pool, is we're looking to enhance the equipment that we use at our conferences. We're looking to enhance the learning opportunities, and enhance the the paid speakers that we bring in. I think it'd be really cool. I mean, for me personally, if you say, hey, I'm going to bring Shaq or I'm going to bring Mark Cuban, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to miss, because I'll tell you this, and something that really, really inspires me, and I think is hopefully going to inspire anyone who's listening to this podcast, is the leadership that we have in place now. Like Kim, for example, she's very ambitious, and she cares for the program. She cares about Toastmasters, and anything that you need Toastmasters, she's willing to do. And she has a goal to bring in.
Welcome to the second episode of D50 After Dark. Today we're going to talk about sponsorship with our guest, Roy Martinez, who is the vendor sponsor chair for District 50. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about our sponsors. In Toastmasters, every club has it in their club mission to improve self-confidence in its members. And that's so perfect, because today we are sponsored by a company whose mission is to enhance self-confidence in men. Guapo Essentials is a natural beard company whose mission is to enhance self-confidence for men, and it's founded by two Toastmasters in District 50. Thank you very much, Guapo Essentials. You can learn more about Guapo Essentials at their website, guapoessentials.com. We are also sponsored by Habitat Commons. Habitat Commons is a beautiful modern co-working space for creators and professionals. We are actually recording this episode in their podcast studio, which is one of the many modern features they have at their co-working space. You can learn more about Habitat Commons at their website, habitatcommons.com. Thank you, Habitat Commons, for sponsoring this episode. Now, Roy, as I mentioned, you are the vendor sponsor chair for District 50. Before we start talking about sponsorships, tell us a little bit more about yourself. How long have you been in Toastmasters, your home club, and anything else you want our listeners to know about you?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, my name is Roy Martinez. I actually joined Toastmasters in November of last year, and I joined my home club, which is Executive Toastmasters in Area 64. And most recently, I joined Toastmasters Techno in Area 63. And my education level is Dynamic Leadership Level 1. Currently working on Level 2. But that's me and my Toastmasters journey.
And Roy, you are also the director for Area 63, correct?
Yes. So Area 63, huge shout out to you for being an amazing area. I can't wait for the great things that we're going to do together. And yes, and this whole sponsorship thing is going to be one of those big things.
Roy, that is pretty impressive. You've been in Toastmasters for less than a year, and already you have gone all in, area director, district chair position. I'm impressed. Well, let's get talking about sponsorships. So first of all, when we talk about sponsorships, what exactly are we talking about? What do we mean when we talk about sponsorships?
Sure. Well, I like to start it off with just something really quick. So last year, the club growth team, we went to a networking event in Mesquite, and one of the vendors that was there, she was part of a group called SIR National Women's. It's a national women's organization, right? So she's like, hey, I want to invite you guys to our conference in May. So this was like literally like maybe a week or two after our conference. So it was Kelly, Leslie, Kim, and I. And we're literally like, we were paying attention to every little detail when we were there, right? The experience was like top tier. And we're like, hey, what can we do to get our conferences to this level? And one, it's something to say, it's always money, right? You need money to buy equipment. You need money for crews. You need money for food. You need money for this and that. And well, it's okay. So we knew the answer was money. But then as we were paying more attention, you started seeing the T-Mobiles, the AT&T. You started seeing all these different companies. And then we're like, wow, if we can get all these companies to sponsor our Falderall, which is actually coming up October the 14th, that date is very special. I won't tell you the second reason, but Falderall is coming up on October 14th, and our conference, which is next year, we're looking to use these funds that we acquired through the sponsorship program to fund those two big things. And actually, I want to make a huge shout out because we're actually using some sponsor dollars for our TLI sessions. And at the UTD session, I had the pleasure of working with Dutch Bros. And literally, these guys accommodated me like at the last minute. We were trying to do coffee, and we're like, we always do Starbucks, or we always do whatever kind of cheap coffee we can get. So we just started thinking like, okay, what can we do to help out a coffee company that's trying to make their presence here in Dallas? Because I've seen Dutch Bros appear within the last couple of years, right? And I've been seeing them more and more. So I called him up on a Tuesday. By Wednesday, he's like, all right, cool. Come Saturday, pick up your stuff at 7 a.m. and you're ready to go. So just wanted to make that quick shout out for Dutch Bros. But
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that as the sponsor vendor chair, you have had a lot of great experiences already with sponsorships for various district events, Toastmasters Leadership Institute, the Folderall that's coming up. I would venture that even those who are leaders of clubs, club presidents, and the other leaders in the club could learn a bit from us today about sponsorships that they could use for their smaller club level events. Would you agree?
absolutely.
Yeah. So when we talk about sponsorships, you mentioned a couple really great sponsors, such as Dutch Brothers Coffee. What kind of sponsors are we looking at to sponsor our events? Who would we reach out to?
So originally we had 4 tiers, right? And the tiers began from I think it was like 1,000 to 2,500, or maybe 500 to 2,500. But so obviously that would target mostly these big corporations that have the funds. But I have to give a huge shout out to Leslie and to our program quality director Kim, because they're like, what if we can, do we have a lot of small businesses in District 50, or people we know of a lot of small business owners? Why don't we add additional tiers? So as of this week, we now have 8 tiers, beginning from, if I'm not mistaken, from the $25 tier section all the way up to 2,500, because we want to be able to, if anybody would like to sponsor Toastmasters, we would like to give them the opportunity, and we would also like them to use their marketing dollars to something that's going to benefit the community.
So potentially any business, all the way from a large company like Starbucks, all the way down to one of our fellow Toastmasters who's getting some small business started up. Any of these people could be someone who would sponsor a district event or even a club.
Absolutely, yes. And I would also like to say that with his 8 tiers, Guapo Essentials has already made the commitment to pick up one of the tiers. We're unsure of which one, but as my business partner Guapo and I, we were talking, we've both benefited greatly from Toastmasters, and it would only be good for us to give back to an organization that gave to us. So
Yeah, and just so we don't assume that it's obvious, what's in it for these businesses to sponsor District 50 or a club?
well, the overall benefit is they're helping improve people's confidence in the community. They're enhancing people's skills, but more importantly to them, it's going to matter to them. It's going to be the marketing dollars that District 50 has over, if I'm not mistaken, over 2,500 members. And as you know, geographically, and on the membership, you guys might have to forgive me on that one because I think the numbers are off. But we start off all the way from Shreveport, all the way towards this way, down south to Tyler, all the way up north to, I believe it's Greenville. So it's a huge area where a small business or even a regional business can put their marketing dollars to for more exposure and to help build trust in the community, especially if they're a newer business. To where now, for example, now I'm out here recommending people Dutch Bros. Somebody says, I want some coffee. Have you tried Dutch Bros? What's Dutch Bros? Hey, go check them out. You know, that to me is like a bigger benefit because the word of mouth is obviously something positive that's coming out of this.
Yeah, so that's great. So what you're saying is that these sponsors, through their partnership with District 50, they get access to a large group all around the Metroplex of people who are leaders in their community. And that's a great target audience for their marketing to reach these people who are leaders in their community and themselves would influence those around them.
Absolutely, yes, exactly.
Now let's get practical. Let's say I'm a club president and I want to get sponsorship for my club's club contest. How would I approach a company to ask them for a sponsorship?
Hey, so that's a very great question, right? So if you're a member and if you're a member of a corporate club, you already have the connection between Toastmasters and the organization. So for example, XYZ Inc. is sponsoring a Toastmasters club, then I already have the connection to the leadership and say, hey, well look, you've already helped us establish this club in our corporation. Why don't we go to the extra level? I'm like, who do I need to talk to help us, to help our company sponsor District 50? And it begins with that. It's a simple question. You ask to your leadership, you ask to your, whoever is in charge of these sorts of things. And in District 50, because we're taking this so serious, we've already created a full-blown presentation to where if Mickey was, looking to have his company sponsor District 50, he can just say, okay, well, who do I talk to? Once you know the name, say, okay, let's set up some time. And Mickey, if you wanted to, you can take you can, since you already do Toastmasters, you already have the confidence to go, have this presentation that we've already built out, and it outlines the benefits for the company. It outlines what their marketing dollars will go towards, and it also outlines the different tiers. So it's a nice tier menu that it's like sometimes the first time that I thought about this, I'm like, it seems so complicated, but once we put all this together, it's just now like who is it, and when we're gonna have the conversation, hopefully retain and attain some marketing, some sponsor dollars.
So these resources you mentioned, where can we get our hands on those resources?
Yeah, so if you have any sort of question in relation to this, I've seen some information out there already on our D50 site, but you can also reach out to sponsor vendor at d50.org for any sorts of questions. If you have a lead or something, or if you'd like some help, say, hey Roy, I know who to talk to, but I don't think it'll be more beneficial if you or Kim or somebody on the program quality team can go, speak to them, and we will definitely support the effort.
So some of these resources are on the website d50tm.org, yes. And they can also reach out to you directly by emailing you sponsorvendor@d50tm.org.
Correct, yes. And I will say that on the website, you guys will already see, some sponsors already on there. Some sponsors have already purchased some of the tiers. So I think right now we have Synchronized Digital that's already on the site. And I know pretty soon we're going to have the McMaster Consulting logo on there as well. So, we're already putting our word to work.
One thing that's really exciting about this to me is I'm always looking at how our participation in Toastmasters builds skills that we use to be successful. And it sounds like if I were going to go to my company and ask them to be a sponsor for District 50, and I decide to use these presentation resources that you're offering, this might fit really well as a project for my presentation mastery or persuasive influence pathway.
Man, I gotta give you that one. That one's a good one. I did not think about that one.
Yeah.
So this is a collaboration that's very important with Toastmasters, because that's absolutely right. And I think somebody could definitely use it for the benefit of their learning.
Very good. All right. And so if I myself have, say, a small business and I'm interested in being one of these lower tier sponsors for District 50, I can reach out again at sponsorvendor@d50tm.org to ask you about what it would take for me to be a sponsor of the district.
Yes, and I'll send you the tier menu. So you can take a look to see which one best fits your needs, and which you can what amount you can commit to. And it's a simple process. You let me know. Say, hey, I would like to take a part in this. I would like to help Toastmasters. I'll send you a link to the invoice, and once you do that, you make your payment. I'll send you a confirmation. We'll send you a confirmation email, and we'll also send you any tax-related documents that you need as well.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people might think that sponsors is not some sponsorship. Asking for sponsors is maybe a part of Toastmasters they're not interested in. But I'm hearing that you're having a lot of fun working with these sponsors.
Yes, it's actually really fun because, aside from the networking aspect of it, because, obviously Toastmasters is it's for people, right? You meet people, you speak in front of people, and you make connections with people. And I think that's really huge, because in the process of it, you come across some very intelligent people that you can always take a little nugget from, from what they know. And it's just a fun process, and yeah, I can't wait for it to continue to grow, because the mission of all of this is for the benefit of District 50 and its members. We're really looking to, once we have a really good sponsors pool, is we're looking to enhance the equipment that we use at our conferences. We're looking to enhance the learning opportunities, and enhance the paid speakers that we bring in. I think it'd be really cool. For me personally, if you say, hey, I'm going to bring Shaq, or I'm going to bring Mark Cuban, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to miss, because I'll tell you this, and something that really, really inspires me, and I think is hopefully going to inspire anyone who's listening to this podcast, is the leadership that we have in place now. Like Kim, for example, she's very ambitious, and she cares for the program. She cares about Toastmasters, and anything that you need Toastmasters, she's willing to do. And she has a goal to bring in for conference 500 people.
We like to end every episode of D50 After Dark with a call to action. So Roy, what do you want our listeners to do right away after watching our episode today?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned this. So District 50, if you're listening to this, if you're a small business owner, if you know somebody who is a small business owner, if you work at a corporation that is looking to spend some marketing dollars, or is looking to give back to the community, please email us at vendors@d50tm.org, and we'll give you this kit. We'll give you this presentation. We'll support you throughout the way. But think of it this way: what you're doing today in helping us attain these sponsor dollars is not only helping us with Toastmasters today, but it'll help the Toastmasters of tomorrow. We would definitely want to continue, building up Toastmasters, and it'd be so good to have the best conference in our 100-year anniversary next year. So just something to think about, but please take a second to, digest the information. And if you know somebody, please reach out to us and help us make conference for everyone.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening to D50 After Dark. Roy Martinez, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mickey. It's been a pleasure as well.
District 50, mark your calendar for a spectacular fall education festival that is coming your way. It is our much anticipated Falderall one-day event, an unforgettable experience packed with excitement, knowledge, and celebration. There will be education sessions for our members. There'll be inspiring speakers, fun Hall of Fame, crazy raffles, and DTM ceremonies. So save the date, October the 14th, and join us in Mesquite, Texas at the Hampton Inn and Suite located at 1700 Rodeo Drive, and be prepared to be challenged, engaged in learning, and best of all, an enjoyable day with your Toastmaster friends and family. District 50's Falderall one-day education event. Stay tuned for more information.